Hello, I am Dr. Mrs. Vasanti Revatkar, Department of Botany, Shri Dhyanesh Mahavidyalaya, Navargaon, District Chandrapur. In this lecture, I have tried to explain about the beverages. These beverages are the part of economic botany and which is included in our syllabus of BSc SEM 5, particularly discipline elective paper of botany, and that's why I have tried to explain the beverages, taking example tea and coffee. First of all, we are going to study about the tea. The botanical name of tea plant is Camellia sinensis and it belongs to family Theaceae. Camellia sinensis is the species of evergreen shrub or small tree in the flowering plants family Theaceae, whose leaves and leaf buds are used to produce tea. Common name includes tea plant, tea shrub and tea tree. Camellia sinensis, the variety particularly sinensis and assamica are two major varieties grown today. There are number of tea types, particularly white tea, then yellow tea, green tea, oolong tea, dark tea, which includes pure tea and black tea, are all harvested from one or the other but are processed differently to attain varying level of oxidation. Here are white tea. It is prepared by white plant, that is the leaves are white in color. Then green tea, these leaves are greenish in color and we can obtain the tea from that plant, that leaves. This is green. This is oolong tea. It is also it is from bird, leaf bird, and this is black tea. We all are known the leaves are black and we will get the black tea. Then kuchicha or twig tea is also harvested from Camellia sinensis but uses twigs and stem rather than the leaves. When we prepare kuchicha tea, so instead of the leaves, there we use the twig or stem of the plant, and it is specially designed for some people. Then plant description. Camellia sinensis is native to East Asia, the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia, but it is today cultivated across the world in tropical and subtropical region. It is an evergreen shrub or small tree that is usually trimmed to below 2 meter, that is 6.6 feet, when cultivated for its leaves. It has strong taproot. About the flower of this tea plant, the flowers are yellow white, 2.5 to 4 centimeter, that is in inches when we calculate it, 0.98 to 1.57 inches in diameter, with 7 or 8 petals. Here are the petals of this flower, and this is numerous stamens we can see easily. The seeds of Camellia sinensis and Camellia oleifera can be pressed to yield tea oil, a sweetish seasoning and cooking oil that should not be confused with tea tree oil, an essential oil that is used for medical or cosmetic purposes and originate from the leaves of the different plant. Then Camellia sinensis, about that, the leaves are 4 to 15 centimeter long and 2 to 5 centimeter broad. Fresh leaves contain about 4% caffeine as well as related compounds including theobromine. The young light green leaves are preferably harvested for tea production. They have short white hairs on underside. Older leaves are deeper green. Different leaf edges produce different tea quality since their chemical composition are different. Here is these are the dark green, that is older leaves, and these are the very young leaves of this plant, and here we can see there are the flowers. Usually the tip or bud and the first 2 or 3 leaves are harvested for processing. This hand picking is repeated every 1 or 2 weeks. These are the leaves. Particularly, these leaves are preferred for good quality tea. In 2017, Chinese scientists sequenced the genome of Camellia sinensis variety Assamica. It contains about 3 billion base pair, which was longer than most plant previously sequenced. Then tea cultivation. Camellia sinensis is mainly cultivated in tropical and subtropical climate in areas with at least 127 centimeter, that is 50 centimeter of rainfall a year. Tea plant prefer a rich and moist growing location in full to part sun and can be grown in hardiness zone, that is 7 to 9. However, the clonal one is commercially cultivated from equator to as far north as Cornwall and Scotland on the UK mainland. Many high quality teas are grown at high elevation up to 1500 meter, that is approximately 4900 feet, as the plant grow more slowly and acquire more flavor. Because that is in a very cold climate, the plant grows slowly and therefore it acquires more flavor and it can produce the high quality tea. The tea plant will grow into a tree if left undisturbed, but cultivated plants are prone to waist height for ease to plucking. Two principal varieties are used: a small-leaved Chinese variety, that is Camellia sinensis, and the large-leaved Assamese plant, that is Camellia sinensis variety Assamica. The name itself suggests it is the Indian variety, used mainly for black tea. Indian and Nepali teas. There are three main kinds of tea which are produced in India. Assam comes from the heavily forest northeastern section of the country. Tea from here is rich in full-bodied. In Assam, the first tea estate of India was established in 1837. Darjeeling is from the cool and wet Darjeeling region, tucked in foothills of the Himalaya. The tea plantation reached 2200 meters. The tea is delicately flavored and considered to be one of the finest tea in the world. Darjeeling plantation have three distinct harvests, that is turned flushes, and the tea produced from each flush has unique flavor. The first or spring flush teas are light and aromatic, while the second or summer flush produces tea with a bit more bit, that is the bitter taste. The third and the autumn flush gives a tea that is lesser in quality. Nepali tea is also considered to be similar to the tea produced in Darjeeling, mostly because the eastern part of Nepal, where large amount of tea is produced, has similar topography of that the Darjeeling, and that's why the flavor and quality of the Nepal tree is very much similar to the Darjeeling tea, and this is the good quality tea. This is the plants of this Darjeeling tea plant. Then health effects of tea. Although health benefits have been assumed throughout the history of using tea as a common beverage, no high quality evidence shows that tea confirm significant benefits. In clinical research over the early 21st century, tea has been studied extensively for its potential to lower the risk of human diseases. But none of this research is conclusive as of the 2017, because in 2017 almost all very much health benefits are studied. Here is the black tea and here is the green tea. Green tea versus black tea, some different effects are there. When we consume the black tea and when we consume the green tea, the effects are are not exactly similar, so something they are different. Then biosynthesis of caffeine from the tea plant, that is Camellia sinensis. Caffeine, a molecule produced in Camellia sinensis, functions as a secondary metabolite and act as a natural pesticide. It can paralyze and kill predator insect feeding on the plant. Caffeine is a purine alkaloid and its biosynthesis occur in young tea leaves and is regulated by several enzymes. The biosynthetic pathway in Camellia sinensis differ from other caffeine producing plants such as coffee and guayusa. Analysis of pathway was carried out by harvesting young leaves and using reverse transcription, that is PCR, to analyze the gene encoding the major enzyme involved in synthesizing caffeine. The gene TCSI encodes caffeine synthesis. Younger leaves feature high concentration of TCSI transcript, allowing more caffeine to be synthesized during this time. Dephosphorylation of xanthosine 5 monophosphate into xanthosine is the committed step for the xanthosine entering the beginning of most common pathway. A sequence of reaction turns xanthosine into 7-methyl xanthosine, then 7-methyl xanthosine, then theobromine, and finally into caffeine. This is the pathway which is used in the biosynthesis of caffeine. Here is the life cycle of Camellia sinensis. This is the flower. This is the first step. When we cut the flower, this is TS of flower showing calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. There are 5 to 9 petals, then stigma, then style, ovary, and ovary here is trilocular with 1 ovule per chamber. After this flower, it turns into mature ovary, and as I earlier stated that ovary is trilocular and with 1 ovule per chamber. The fruit has also the 3 chambers. Each chamber contains 1 or solitary seed. Then this is the fruit, mature fruit of this Camellia plant. Then top view of the dry fruit that cracked along the chamber line and expose the seed inside. Now, there are seeds are there and these seeds can be exposed. This is the third step. And after that, this is a single seed showing that having the seed coat, all that things. Then this is the transfer section of seed showing that hard seed coat, then cotyledons, and inside that there is the embryo which is yellowish in color here. Then after sowing this seed, the sapling takes 9 to 10 years to mature and produce flower. Here this is the sapling of this tea plant, and this is the sapling, but this sapling takes place 9 to 10 years to produce mature plant. And after maturation, again when plant become mature, they start giving the flowers, and again we can start the cycle from the flower. This is all about Camellia sinensis, life cycle of the plant of Camellia sinensis. Then another beverage is among another beverage, it is coffee. Coffee is a part of beverage, and the botanical name of coffee is Coffea species, that is Coffea arabica, and another species Coffea canephora. There are 2 species are there. It also belongs to family Rubiaceae. Coffea species are shrub or small tree native to tropical and southern Africa and tropical Asia. The seeds of some species called coffee beans are used to flavor various beverages and products. This is the plant of coffee, and this is the flower of coffee and coffee plant, and these are the seeds of coffee. We are calling it as a coffee beans. Coffee fruits, like the seeds, contain a large amount of caffeine and have a distinct sweet taste and are often juiced. The plant ranks as one of the world's most valuable and widely traded commodity crop and is an important export product of several countries, including those in Central and South America and the Caribbean and Africa. This is the fruits of coffee. Inside the that fruit beans are there, and these are the flowers of coffee. Then cultivation and uses. There are over 120 species of coffea, which is grown from seeds. The two most popular are Coffea arabica, commonly known as Arabica coffee, which accounts for 60 to 80% of world's coffee production, and Coffea canephora, known as Robusta, which accounts for about 20 to 40% of world's coffee. Coffea arabica is preferred for its sweeter taste, while Coffea canephora has a higher caffeine content. Coffea arabica has its origin in highland of Ethiopia and Boma Plateau of Sudan, and was the result of hybrid between Coffea canifera and Coffea eugenioides. This is about the coffea plant. It is arabica. These seeds are belonging to the family plant variety arabica, and these two seeds which can belongs to robusta. This is the robusta plant having berries, and this is the arabica plant. Then the trees produce edible red to purple fruits, known sometimes as erroneously as cherries, which are described either as epigynous berries or as indehiscent drupes. Here the fruit is that fruit of the coffee, and inside the fruit there is a coffee bean. These contain two seeds called as coffee beans. Here we can see only one, but when we take the transverse section of this fruit, there are two beans, and they are called as the coffee beans, though they are not true beans. In about 5 to 10% of any crop of coffee fruits, only a single bean is found, as like this one. In 5 to 10% of the crop, there is only one bean, and called as pea berry. It is smaller and rounder than a normal coffee bean. When grown in the tropics, coffee is a vigorous bush or small tree that usually grow to a height of about 3 to 3.5 meter, approximately 9.8 to 11.5 feet. Most commonly cultivated coffee species grown best at high elevation but do not tolerate freezing temperature. The tree of Coffea arabica will grow fruits after 3 to 5 years, producing for an average of 50 to 60 years. Although up to 100 is possible, that is Coffea arabica can give yield up to the 100 years also, and it is possible. The white flowers are highly scented. The fruits take about 9 months to ripen. These are the white flowers of Coffea arabica, and these are the seeds. The Coffea arabica was first described scientifically by Anton de Jussieu, who named it Jasminum arabicum. After studying a specimen from Botanic Garden of Amsterdam, Linnaeus placed it in its own genus Coffea in 1737. This is the coffee, these are the seedlings of coffee. This is fermented coffee seeds, and these are fermented coffee, that is green seeds without their hull, and these are the fermented and roasted coffee seeds. There are different types of seeds are shown in this diagram. Then Robusta coffee, that is the Coffea canephora, commonly known as Robusta coffee, is a species of coffee that has its origin in Central and Western Sub-Saharan Africa. It is a species of flowering plant in the family Rubiaceae. Scientific name, as I told earlier, it is the Coffea canephora and order Gentianalis. These are the coffee beans of Coffea robusta or robust coffee, which is nothing but the good quality coffee. The uses of coffee. People most commonly drink coffee to relieve mental and physical fatigue and to increase mental alertness. Coffee is also used to prevent Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, dementia and cognitive decline. It is also used to prevent gallstones, gout, type of 2 diabetes and certain types of cancer. Coffee contains caffeine, and caffeine works by stimulating the central nervous system, that is CNS, heart and muscles. For reasonable amount, that is 1 to 6 cups a day, coffee can be good for you. It can prevent serious diseases, boost your mind and muscles, and even help to you weight loss. Remember, as long as you drink toxin coffee, specialty coffee and brew it with care, you can and should be enjoying it, knowingly it's good for you. Bad quality coffee is also there, and it can have a lot of impurities in it, which can cause sickness, headache or general bad feeling. This can happen if your coffee is made from beans that have been overripe or otherwise ruined. Even one ruined bean can make your cup toxic. If you invest and buy high quality, that is specialty coffee, you don't have to worry about this. But if you are taking the bad quality or cheap or somewhat even ruined coffee, and that can cause the toxic effect for you, and this becomes a very dangerous for your health also. So please, while taking the coffee, you can see it's the brand and specialty. Thank you very much.